Economics is about making choices. These choices are necessary because we live in a world of scarcity. Scarcity means that resources are limited. Resources include things like time, money, and natural resources. We have unlimited wants. We want things like food, clothes, and entertainment. We also want things like a clean environment and a good education. Scarcity means we can't have everything we want. We have to make choices. Economics is the study of how people make choices under conditions of scarcity. Scarcity is the fundamental economic problem. It forces us to make choices. These choices have consequences. Economics helps us understand these choices and their consequences. Because resources are scarce, we must make choices. We can't have everything we want. We have to choose what we want most. Every choice has a cost. This cost is not just the money we pay for something. It also includes the value of what we give up to get something. For example, imagine you have $10. You could use that money to buy a pizza or a movie ticket. If you choose to buy the pizza, the cost is not just the $10. It is also the enjoyment you would have gotten from watching the movie. Choice is a fundamental concept in economics. Every decision we make involves choosing one option over another. Understanding the trade-offs involved in these choices is crucial for making rational decisions. Opportunity cost is the value of the next best alternative foregone. It is what you give up when you make a choice. In the example above, the opportunity cost of buying the pizza is the enjoyment you would have gotten from watching the movie. Opportunity cost is not always easy to calculate. It is often subjective. What is valuable to one person may not be valuable to another. However, even if we cannot put an exact dollar value on opportunity cost, it is still an important concept. It helps us to understand the true cost of our choices. We face opportunity costs in every aspect of life. For example, a student who chooses to study for an exam gives up the opportunity to watch television. A parent who chooses to stay home with their children gives up the opportunity to work outside the home. A business that chooses to invest in new equipment gives up the opportunity to save that money. A government that chooses to spend money on education gives up the opportunity to spend that money on healthcare. These are just a few examples of the many opportunity costs we face every day. By understanding opportunity cost, we can make better choices that are more likely to lead to happiness and success. Section 5. Thinking like an economist. Marginal analysis. Economists use a specific way of thinking to analyze choices. This is called marginal analysis. Marginal analysis involves comparing the additional benefits of a choice to the additional costs. For example, imagine you are trying to decide whether to eat one more slice of pizza. The marginal benefit is the additional enjoyment you would get from eating that slice. The marginal cost is the feeling of being too full afterward. If the marginal benefit outweighs the marginal cost, you should eat the slice of pizza. If the marginal cost outweighs the marginal benefit, you should not eat the slice of pizza. Marginal analysis helps us make rational decisions by considering the incremental impacts of our choices. Section 6. The role of models in economics. Economists use models to simplify the real world. A model is a simplified representation of reality. Models help us to understand complex phenomena by focusing on the most important factors. One example of an economic model is the supply and demand model. This model shows how the price of a good is determined by the interaction of buyers and sellers. Models are not perfect. They cannot capture every detail of the real world. However, they can be useful tools for understanding how the economy works. By simplifying complex systems, models allow economists to isolate key relationships and make predictions about economic behavior. Section 7. Assumptions. Simplifying the complex world. Economists make assumptions to simplify their models. An assumption is something that is assumed to be true for the purpose of a model. For example, the supply and demand model assumes that buyers and sellers are rational. This means that they are assumed to act in their own best interests. Assumptions are necessary to make models tractable. Without assumptions, models would be too complex to be useful. However, it is important to remember that assumptions are simplifications. The real world is more complex than any model. Section 8. Applying microeconomics in daily life. Microeconomics may seem theoretical, but its principles are highly applicable to our daily lives. Understanding scarcity helps us prioritize our wants and needs. Recognizing opportunity costs aids us in making informed decisions about how we spend our time, money, and energy. Thinking at the margin allows us to make incremental choices that maximize our overall well-being. By internalizing the lessons of microeconomics, we can become more savvy consumers, more effective workers, and better decision-makers in all areas of our lives. Section 9, Conclusion, Scarcity, Choice, and the Economic Way of Thinking. Scarcity is the foundation of economics. It forces us to make choices. Every choice has an opportunity cost. Economists use models and assumptions to simplify the complex world. By understanding these concepts, we can make better choices that lead to greater happiness and success. The economic way of thinking, with its focus on trade-offs, incentives, and marginal analysis, provides a powerful framework for understanding individual behavior and navigating the challenges of a world with limited resources.